Hello everyone, good evening. I welcome you all to the live session conducted by Milo for today. So, before we begin the session, let me just share a small introduction about myself. I am Shweta Vijayan. By profession, I am a senior nutritionist associated with Milo. I hold an experience of 10 years and I am also a certified diabetic educator. So today's topic of discussion is role of diet in the growth and development of the baby. Isn't the topic interesting? So before we begin the session or we start taking up the questions, let's understand the fact that baby's growth to a larger extent in the initial periods, of course, in the period of pregnancy and during the term of lactation, depends upon the nutrition which the mother follows. So, importantly, the mother is to be following a very healthy platter to make sure that she is providing the right nutrition to the baby. So, the first question which popped up here is, how can I increase my breast milk supply? So, this is a very common question which usually the young mothers come up with. So, let's understand first that prolactin hormone plays a very important role in the breast milk secretion, and also your environmental factors, physiological factor and genetic factors also impact the breast milk secretion. So today, as we are talking more towards the diet, what is the role of the diet? So mother having a complete balanced nutritional platter, that is inclusion of right quantity of protein, right quantity of fat, right quantity of vitamins and minerals in the food. Definitely, even the carbohydrate plays a very important role in determining the quantity of the milk she is gonna secrete. Again, there are certain superfoods which can play an important role in increasing the supply. For example, dill leaf, which is again a green leafy vegetable, garlic, fenugreek seeds, inclusion of ghee, which is good fat, also improves the not only the quality of the milk but also the quantity enhancement can be attained by including such kind of superfoods in the routine. So the second question which I see is, when can I introduce a formula feed to my baby? So formula feed is again something which is trending where young working mothers wherein they have started working after the post the delivery. We see that nowadays we push the baby or infants into the formula feeds into a very initial state, but to your surprise, initial 6 months, the suggestion and the recommendation largely is for the mother to continue exclusive breastfeeding. Post which, once where we are slowly pushing the baby into the weaning phase, where the baby is slowly introduced to some solid food, and during this term of period where the baby's nutritional requirement is also increasing, nutritional demand is also increasing to help the rapid growth, is the pace where we can introduce formula feed. But again, there are certain unfortunate situation, I would rather say, wherein the mother is not able to produce a sufficient quantity of milk to suffice the baby's needs. The formula feed can be introduced, but again, very important, the pediatrician's advice and your dietitian's advice together would play a very important role in introducing a formula feed in a very initial stage. But recommendation would be is mostly towards the weaning phase, that is post the 6 months of the baby's initial 6 months of the delivery, post the 6 months of the delivery, I mean to say. So next questions which I see is, how many feeds do I plan for my 2 months old baby? So here planning of feeds depends upon the baby's demand too. But at an average, good number of feed would be 8 to 12 for the 24 hours, that is for the whole entire day. very important. This is just an average number to specify that we can give around 8 to 12 feeds to a baby. But again, there are certain kids, or there are certain infants which require a little larger number of feeds. So do not hesitate in increasing the number, and do not worry that if the baby is taking around 7 to 8 feeds also, it is absolutely okay, because that is something which is important to understand, that that is the requirement of the baby. But the average number would be from 8 to 12 feeds per day. So the next question what I see is, I am diabetic. Can I feed my baby? Of course, yes. So here the condition, can be diabetic or hypertensive, or you would have mothers who are suffering from hyper or hypothyroidism, does not hinder or interfere in the feeding scenarios. So definitely the mother can feed the baby if she has any of this condition, even dyslipidemia wherein the cholesterol levels are high. So we do not have to worry, but make sure that whenever you are on any medications, inform the doctor that you are on to feeds, or you are newly delivered mother, and definitely the medicines would be tapered accordingly by your endocrinologist or your physicians, and you would be able to feed your baby in a normal condition, or a normal scenario, how a normal mother feeds the baby. So there is no need to stop yourself saying that I am diabetic and I can't feed my baby. So the next question again is a very elaborate question, wherein the question states that, what fruits and vegetable is to be introduced to my 7 months old baby? So here it's very important to understand that, as you rightly spelled in the question itself, that we are introducing the food to the baby or the infant. So the fruits and vegetable, and definitely if we are non-vegetarian, eggs, and even some easily digestible dal like moong dal can be introduced to the baby. But we also need to understand that it should be very slow and gradual. We cannot rush with the food when we are talking, or when we are giving to the baby, as we do to an adult. So according to the tolerance of the baby, we can introduce the food. Mostly no raw food to be introduced. It has to be very well cooked and in smashed or mashed form. Reason, because baby do not have teeth, and we know that the initial stage of digestion definitely begins from mouth. So, and it is very difficult for the baby to have chunk in the food, so it is always recommended to have mashed foods. So fruits, definitely fruits like apple, avocado, papaya, even pear to an extent, can be introduced to the baby. When you talk about vegetables, soft vegetables like bottle gourd, ash gourd, even potatoes can be included in the routine of weaning. If we talk about non-veg, egg yolk in the smashed form can be given to the baby. Also, when we talk about nuts, almond, which is grinded, smashed into very, probably I would say in paste form, can be incorporated in the weaning routine. Of course, you will have to be very, very slow and gradual, but also we need to understand that because we are introducing food, giving a larger spread of food to the baby would definitely give that exposure to the food to the baby, and he would or she would try understanding what food she likes, and start reciprocating or responding to. So yes, we can introduce these foods to the baby, and definitely customization according to the months of the growth of the baby, and depending upon the feed the baby is still taking, the weaning plans are recommended. So always take an advice and then start introducing food to the baby. As I also spelled out, even legumes or dals like moong dal can also be introduced. Ghee can be given to the baby, but again, as I said, it depends upon the month which the baby is and also the amount of feed which the baby is taking. And again, important, very important would be the tolerance of the baby, the amount of food the baby is tolerating. Again, simultaneously, I do see one more question which popped up. Can I add sugar and salt in the food of my baby? So, the answer would be no. For the initial 12 months, the recommendation would be to stick on to the food which are mostly having the natural ingredients rather than adding more of spices, sugar, and salt into the food. For the initial 12 months, let's not introduce this to the baby, because when we say why we are recommending more of natural ingredients is because natural food play a very important role, and they are nutritionally so sound that they not only increase the eating habit of the baby but also plays a very important role in their growth and development. So initially for 12 months, let's keep the sugar and salt aside and stick on to more towards the natural ingredients to feed the baby. So next, again, I see a very elaborate question that what would be the food which I follow during my pregnancy to have a better development and growth in my baby. So this is a very important question. As we begin the session, we did discuss that the food what the mother takes during the pregnancy and during the term of lactation plays a very vital role. And when we talk about pregnancy, as we all know that our pregnancy is divided into 3 trimesters. So every trimester has an increased need which the mother needs to follow. So the whole pregnancy as term, there is definitely no food which is to be restricted until and unless you are under any underlying condition, can be development of diabetes during the pregnancy, which is termed as gestational diabetes, or can be hypothyroidism, or sometimes the mothers do develop hypertension during the terms of pregnancy. So definitely in this duration of time, if we have any of these underlying condition, we would have certain restrictions which we would have to follow, but there is no as such don'ts which the mother has to take care of during the pregnancy. But as stated, customization, again, when we talk about customization of a meal plan during pregnancy, would be very importantly to the demand of what trimester the mother is in, can be the first, second, or third trimester. Very important, understanding the fetal growth of during basically when the mother gets the scan done, we would know the growth and the development of the fetus there is also looked into. And again, very important would be the BMI, the body mass index of the mother plays a very very important role in personalizing and customizing the diet of a pregnant woman or a pregnant lady. Why all these factors are taken into consideration is individually all these factors play an important role in not only understanding the need of a mother but also the need of the infant. For instance, if a mother is obese and if a mother is of a very higher BMI, so definitely her requirement would be much more different than a mother who is of an under BMI, wherein her BMI is below 18 or is an average BMI of an 18 or a 19 BMI. So it is very important for a mother to know and understand that during the term of pregnancy there is nothing as such which is restricted in the food. Definitely nutrition platter is important, wherein she includes enough quantity of carbohydrates, enough quantity, very good quantity of and quality of protein, good quantity of fiber, so that she does not end up in constipation. Water plays a very important role, because definitely to improve the fluids in the mother's routine plays a very very important role in keeping her gut health also healthy. And even when we talk about small micronutrients, for instance we talk about vitamin and mineral play a very very important role in the development of baby, because most development, can be the brain development, spine development, actually requires the support of vitamins and minerals. So these nutrition also play a very very important role. Here again, I would talk about a myth that usually mothers come back and say that because we are pregnant, are we supposed to eat for two? No, it's not like that, that you are pregnant and you are supposed to eat for two. But yes, the demand of every trimester is different. So as the baby grows, the demand of mother in her nutrition side definitely increases. So the customization and the personalization happens only once we have met the nutritionist and we have shared the complete history of our pregnancy. So this is the answer for your question here, that what should I eat during my pregnancy, or is there anything which I should avoid during my pregnancy term. So again, I do see a question stating that my baby is 2 years old and is underweight. So and is very picky and choosy with food. So what do I give to my baby to make sure that my baby has an ideal body weight? So this question is a very interesting question. Reason being, again, we do not have to force the baby to have certain quantum of food, or understanding the platter is very important when we talk about infants, because definitely they would be picky and choosy because they are very new to food. They are understanding, they are analyzing what exactly they have to eat. So giving them more towards again natural ingredients, try incorporating a lot of fruits, lot of vegetable, see their responses. Because some children do not enjoy eating, for example, if a baby is not comfortable in eating vegetables, the baby is not having vegetables in the routine, that does not mean that we remove the vegetable totally from the platter of the infant. Rather, try changing the form, try changing it, or try fortifying it with something else. For example, try making parathas out of vegetables, wherein the baby is not virtually seeing the vegetable, but it has vegetable inside, stuffed inside the paratha. So certain tricks like this is the pace where we would have to understand what the baby is eating and how comfortable the baby is getting with food. Also, try keeping this feeding span of the baby. If you are planning, or if we say for a 2 years baby, if you are planning to give around the baby a feed around every 8 hours, we are planning to give some 2 hours of meal, wherein you say every 2 hours you are introducing some small quantity of a food to the baby or to the infant. Make sure that you avoid junk food here. Try restricting biscuits, try restricting chocolates, do not incorporate chips in the routine. Rather, try including some food or some sweets which we usually make at home. Can be til ke laddu, or try giving small quantity of even fruits to the child. Or even make sure that you try incorporating or making food at home. You have so many wider spread of recipes which are healthier to give an infant who is of 2 years. So try incorporating such food to the baby. And also, again, very important, do not force feed the baby, because the baby can be underweight, but always understand if the baby is active, if the baby is able to manage the day's routine, and if the baby is playing and is very active. So you do not have to worry stating my baby is underweight, because as baby is in a growing, or infant is in a growing stage, definitely they would cope up to the weight. But again, customization, understanding the routine, what exactly the baby is eating, and the amount of feeds planned for the day is very very important. And also, as I said, do not introduce a lot of processed food in the routine. Would also make sure that the baby is still more towards the natural ingredients of food. And this would actually help the baby not only to gain weight, but also to develop a very very healthy eating habit. Try incorporating a lot of hand picking food, because children like eating and picking their food from their own hand and having it by themselves, because that's the pace wherein they see elders eating and they would want to do that. So certain tricks like this also would help inculcate or develop the baby's eating pattern. So I think I have answered all the questions for today. And also, I would want to discuss one very important and a very very interesting subject, that is in our Milo program. You would see we do have a baby's growth and development program, which we are providing to all our users. So if anybody is interested in, you can definitely look through that program, because here the nutritionist and your pediatrician work together to help you attain your goal. So you can definitely walk through that plan, and I hereby conclude the session. So I thank all of you all for your presence, and all thank you all for the interesting questions too. Hopefully we have learned a lot from today's session. So thank you one and all for all your presence from the bottom of my heart.